one of the other things that I've noticed, now that I'm, really working towards becoming a fearless father, what I'm really trying to do and where I'm trying to get that energy from is, I'm trying to be the perfect inspiration and example for my kids, right? So I'm eating healthy, I'm working out every day, I wake up really early, et cetera, et cetera. I can go on and on and on, and I'm really starting to notice the changes in me. I've dropped a lot of weight, starting to actually grow a little bit of muscle. I'm reading books. I've never read books in my life. So, I'm really starting to see that. But, in what would you say that are like the benefits of living or having a fearless mindset and living a fearless life? And what are the changes that you have seen with all the people that you have helped up until now?
Love it. Okay. So the biggest benefit at the end of the day is going to be focused around happiness and fulfillment. And I think that's everything that we are striving for unconsciously. We're not consciously seeking out happiness and fulfillment. What we're consciously seeking out is more money, is a faster car, is a bigger house, is nicer clothes, is all these material things that the media, that society has taught us that we need to feel what? Fulfilled and happy. So by you doing those things that scare you, I believe that everything that you desire, Klaus, everything that you watch, you who's watching this, everything that you desire in your life is on the other side of your fears. It's on the other side of your fears. Because if you had them, you would no longer be afraid of doing what it would take to get them, right? So since you don't have maybe what you want yet in a certain area of your life, let's say health and fitness or your career or your relationship, it's because there's fear. And I believe that fear is the biggest thing that slows people down or stops them. My mission is to transform the way the world experiences fear so that it never stops them again. That's why I am on earth. That's why I'm here. So number one, that happiness and fulfillment is on the other side. I always say that the only thing that gets smaller the more you run towards it is fear, right? The more you run away from it, the bigger it gets, the scarier it gets. So it's very counterintuitive there. To be more specific, connection. I think that when we're on our deathbed and we're looking back on our life, I lead an event class called the Fearless Life Experience. I do this 3-day retreat in San Diego, and I take people through the experience of conquering fear. And one of the exercises that I have them do, which is a really, really powerful exercise, is I have them write their obituary.
Oh.
Yeah. And what happens is that they write their obituary and they discover that all the things that are causing them stress in life are insignificant when it comes to their meaning of their life. So when they're, passed and they want to be remembered, they don't want to be remembered for the car, or the suits, or the things that they're striving for. They want to be remembered for the values that they left behind, the legacy, the father that they were, or the grandfather that they were, the mother, or the grandmother. And it's all about relationships. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing more fearless than putting your commitment to go so deep in relationships as the number one priority. And it's challenging at times. My father didn't have a lot of the tools to communicate at a deep level with me. Mm. And when I was a kid, it hurt. I wanted to talk more. I wanted to connect more, right? And the truth is that he did the best with what he had. I know that, right? He learned from his dad how to connect and communicate. Now I have studied this a lot, so I feel like I could connect with my future son or daughter in such a deep and meaningful way. So when you're doing the thing that you fear, everything you desire, deeper relationships, better health, more money, more impact, more happiness, more fulfillment is on the other side of that fear. So it's worth stepping outside of your comfort zone. It is worth it. And I want to remind you, the fears don't go away, right? You're doing this first podcast interview, right? This first interview. And, like I said, you probably won't be feeling the same level of nervousness or fear in 10 episodes or 100 episodes, but maybe then you're speaking to an audience of 100 people. That's a little scary. Then maybe the next one is you're speaking to an audience of 1,000 people, right? There's always going to be a new fear. And I believe that you're either growing or you're dying. There's no coast. And you were right. A lot of people just kind of go through the motions of their life. They coast and they think that I just want to stay comfortable because it hurts to grow. But in reality, they're not flatlining. They're actually going down. So I just invite everyone to get clear on what is it that you really want in your life? What are the things that are most important to you? What are your values? What are your passions? Is your current life giving you those things? And if it's not, what are the things that you need to shift over time? It doesn't happen overnight. I'm not suggesting you do something drastic and go into your job and quit your job and say, I'm done, right? That would not be the smartest thing to do. But build a plan, get clear on the vision, create the strategy, and take action every single day towards it. And everything you desire is on the other side.
Wow, excellent. I'm actually glad you brought up the part of death, because while I was making my question for preparing for this interview, I was actually thinking of, because death is a huge and important part, but at the same time, it's just shoved under the rug by, well, almost everybody. So I was thinking, I'm not going to talk about that yet in this first interview. So I'm really glad you brought that up. I actually listened to a short 3-minute death meditation every single morning.
Oh, I love it. Can I share a quote from you? One of the most powerful quotes I've ever heard.
Yeah.
About it comes from a world-renowned, entrepreneur and business owner, Steve Jobs. Right, passed away several years ago now. And his quote was, it was at his, I think it was his 2000 Stanford commencement speech. He gave this incredible commencement speech. Go find it on Google or YouTube if you haven't watched it. And he said this, I'll just read it off the screen here because I just looked it up. He said, quote, "Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. You are already naked. There is no reason not to follow your heart." It's so powerful to look at that. And that was the thing, that's what led me on the journey of doing this, was really losing my dad. When my dad passed, he was 60 years old, way too young to pass. I was 25, right? And I just looked at life with a different perspective. Tomorrow's not guaranteed to any of us. And life is fragile. And why would I stay in a job of working 80, 90, 100 hours a week as an investment banker, miserable, neglecting my health, neglecting my relationships, versus doing something that has meaning to me that I knew I could be way successful at anyway, right? So, just wanted to share that.
That's perfect. That's absolutely wonderful. I'm glad how things sometimes in life work out, where you want to bring up something, and then it comes up anyway. So yeah, as I said, I think that's the most important thing for people to realize. And I actually I write it down every single day. It's like today might be the last day, so I cannot have an excuse to not make this the best day possible and give my all.